Koudelka. Koudelka was a console role-playing game, or RPG, for the PlayStation 1, developed by Saknov, and it was the first game what the series would become the Shadow Heart series. Well, some people say that is Shadow Heart series is a spin-off. Some people say that is a sequel. Well, it doesn't really matter that much, but it is the first thing ever made by any kind of correlation with Shadow Hearts. That's for sure. Saknov CEO and founder, it was Hiroki Kikuta, that if you don't know, it was responsible for a lot of works, especially I think the most well known would be Secret of Mana, and especially I think composition, that the only thing that he did on that work. But in Koudelka, he acted as a producer, as a writer, composer, director. He basically did everything in the game, at least the beginning, the basic structures of the game. And one of the reasons was that he was completely unsatisfied with the genre of dark RPGs. He want to more horror, mature and dark, and he think that RPGs were a lot more juveniles, and yeah, he want to change this. Also, let put it in your mind that he was a big fan of H.P. Lovecraft. So yeah, the basic story of the game, it is set in Wales in 180 98. The game basically go to mysterious occurrence that happens in a place called Nimiton Monastery. Okay, and the game has basically three protagonists that are random occurrences. They are basically forced to investigate the, all the mysteries in the game. So also, if you want to know, the game was released in 16th of December of 1999 in Japan, and not long after come for North America and Europe.
Oh.
So, what is about the gameplay? The gameplay is split between two styles of play: exploration and combat. Controlling the main protagonist, Koudelka, hence the name of the title, we can explore basically Nimiton, because it's the only place that we have in the game, and with a 3D model. Backgrounds are pre-rendered, yes, we're talking about PS1, with fixed camera angles, which can be a bit of hassle in this game. Also, it's a PS1 game, so yes, tank controls. It's very reminiscent of Resident Evil series if you play, especially the older ones. And yes, we have story scenes, you pick items, ammo, and a lot of puzzles. So you can also say that it's a mix between Resident Evil and, I don't know, some RPG in this style of this type of time as well. And again, it's a PS1 RPG, so yes, random encounters all the way. We have a lot of um, survival horror elements, and we also have a limited inventory because, yeah, it's part of the charm of the game, or it can be a hassle, but the game is not that hard. And you could see a lot of events and figural history figures that are gonna be referenced or even depict with, of course, addition of super natural elements and some mysteries. The main characters are Koudelka, the young psych gypsy. It follows the title of the game. We also have Edward, which is an adventure that wants money, right? So you could say that he's kind of a mercenary or something like that. Also, we have James, which is a bishop of the Vatican, in a quest from, I'm not gonna say what, but yeah, every one of these characters is gonna be integrated in this game, and you can use them as you fit. Also, this game shows a lot of secondary characters, but I'm gonna have to point one in particular, Roger Bacon. Okay, Roger Bacon is an actual person in history, and he is in this game, and he also is in the Shadowheart games. So be sure to look off for him because he is a really funny guy. Also, in my opinion, this game has the best voice acting for his character. As I said before, basically two endings, which is the good ending and the bad ending. But we can also say that he has one additional ending, which people call the worst ending. The worst ending it's achieved when the player did not find a specific item before the final boss. Then you're gonna receive a non-normal game over screen. Okay, when the final boss basically kill you and all the characters in one blow. Yeah. The good ending is when you go to the final battle with this item and defeat the final boss. And the bad ending is obvious when you lose to the final boss. The funny thing about this is that Shadow Hearts follows the bad ending. So yes, the ending that you lose the final boss, which is very interesting. The sequels. Um, Koudelka released a manga side story that is plays 6 months after the events of the game, where Koudelka is pursued by a mysterious organization that wants to use the power of specific item that we see on the game, and it was considered a sequel at the time of release, but it's no longer considered canonical at this point. Also, after this, we have numerous unreleased sequels from the games that were like planned for if the game was really a success, and but yeah, as you know, it was not. Well, Koudelka 2 would be set on Paris, where a lot of things would go wrong, of course, especially in a newly excavated Paris subway system. And you could also see catacombs in Paris, which like would have monsters and spirits. You know the stuff. Koudelka, the third game of the series, would be in Chicago in 1973, and would feature Koudelka's grandson, Hadmo Koudelka. Um, and he would be the son of the daughter of Koudelka, Amelia Koudelka. who also would appear in the game. Hodma would work in the University of Chicago, and basically plot of the story would be mysterious murders that people would suffer by soldiers um, returning for Vietnam. Of course, Horder Beacon will be there because, you know, it is always there. And finally, Koudelka 4, which again would follow Rodmo, this time in 1984, in a trip to Japan, where he would visit Asuka Stones and try to remove a curse on one of his professors' friends. So, as you can see, this basically did not happen. But if you know Shadow Hearts, which is technically the sequel, um, or a sequel game, or a sequel series, or a spin-off, whatever you want to call, um, some of the elements would go and be adapted in a way, in a different way, but it's still adapt within the series.